Welcome back to the Keys podcast. I'm your host, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily like the flower because we are learning and growing together. In this episode, we are simply checking in with each other, holding each other accountable because the first month of the year is already gone. If you're listening to this in real time, it is February 2026. Honestly, the older I get, the faster every single day, week, month just speeds by. And it can be so easy to lose track of what we're doing, why we're doing anything, who we're doing it for. It can be so easy to lose sight of our goals, our dreams, our visions, those vacations we wanted to plan, those shoes we wanted to buy, those people we wanted to go see. It could be so easy to get derailed, taken off path. And in this episode and moving forward, I would like to make it a habit for us to check in with ourselves, to check in with each other, hold each other accountable on a monthly basis to make sure that we're staying on track. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that wants to maintain quality of life, to not just work for money, but to work for freedom, to work for flexibility, to work for moments and memories with family and friends and my community. And the only way that happens or continues is if we check in, we slow down, we stop, we focus. My word of the year this year is focus. But the lesson I've learned in the month of January is to slow down. So focus doesn't necessarily mean like, let me stare at my goals all day. Let me stare at a wall, my emails. Let me read 100 books. Sometimes it just means slowing down, sitting in stillness, being comfortable in that stillness, focusing on one task at a time, and being fully immersed in said task. Granted, it still aligns with our goals and our dreams, but outside of that, there's no need to rush. And that's a lesson I'm learning. But for you, that might be different. So if you're in a space right now where you feel just bogged down by debt, your emotions, your mindset, your physical well-being, there's so many aspects to life that we have to manage and micromanage and macromanage, if that's even a word. But what I'm getting at is we're responsible for ourselves. And us alone requires so much effort. So imagine having to do that also for other people, whether it's family, kids, coworkers, people outside in parking lots trying to take your parking spot. I mean, there's so much for us to have to consider on a daily basis. We're making decisions every second of the day. Then you add in scrolling and apps and distractions. Next thing you know, it's February 2028, and you haven't done anything on your to-do list, on your goals list, on your vision board. So if we check in with each other, whether you're doing good or bad, or maybe you've made a bunch of progress, a little progress, or no progress. This isn't a space to judge. This is a space to uplift and encourage. And being able to share my experiences with you all and what has worked for me, as well as through research that I've done to try and experiment with new things to make sure that my mindset, my mental health is on track, to make sure that my mental health is in order. Not perfect, not ever shooting for perfect. I'm simply shooting for done, action, doing the thing I said I was going to do, living, breathing, right? Some days I have it, some days I don't. But it is a choice to get up every day to say, I'm going to set out to accomplish this goal and I'm going to get it done. Whatever it takes. And you define what that is for you. You define what success is for you. You create the clarity in your life. And then you pull from other areas to feed you, to keep your cup full. And ways that you can stay full and making sure you're showing up as your true self, your authentic self, whether it's a good day or bad day, is to know you and to love you. And part of that is starting with taking care of yourself. Okay, how do you start your mornings? Is it straight to the phone, straight to the internet, straight to the social media platforms? Is it silence? Is it stillness? Is it sleeping in? Let's consider a few things before we move on with this month and make sure that we're checking in with self. We're tapping in, and you can do this with your family, your friends, your community, because it's important to create healthy habits that we often ignore or put to the wayside. So let's continue to hold each other accountable. And here are a few things that you can start improving in, checking in, making sure that it's still in order, aligned with you and what you are setting out to do. And some of these things, from my opinion, I consider non-negotiables, but for you, it may be different. It's your choice. It's your life. But these are simply areas that I feel like I wouldn't ignore, especially as we get older. So I have my notes. So I think mindset is key, and creating daily habits or a habit, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves, especially if you're making significant changes, right? But creating a daily habit to improve your mindset. When I was at my lowest and I was stuck, or I was starting a new business, I quit my job, it was journaling for me. And journaling eventually evolved into reading. I'm not an avid reader. Well, I wasn't an avid reader. I would consider myself a much better reader now. But in the beginning, it was all about journaling. And for some people, they're not sure what to write in their journal, what to say or do. But you can start with gratitude. You could start with recounting and documenting all the wins in your life. Start with things that are happy and joyful. What are some things that made you smile? And on the flip side, it could be things that pissed you off. Being able to express how you actually feel in the moment, instead of it just living up here and ruminating and manifesting into sickness and spewing out hate or taking it out on other people. Take it out on that paper. Then you could rip it out and throw it away later, or keep it as a keepsake for you to reflect on a month, a year, 10 years from now. I have a drawer full of journals, and I enjoy writing. So naturally, journaling was a habit that I've maintained for almost a decade plus now. Maybe one day I'll write a book and tell my story, but for now, it all lives in my journals. I also keep journals in my phone. So if I'm on the go, or I just want to express something in the moment, I also have a gratitude folder where I keep gratitude every single day, because gratitude has been the number one healing factor for me. Before I started reading again, before I started working out again, before I even found God again, journaling was my entry point to saving myself, essentially, and getting to know myself and learning how to love myself better. Because when I love myself more, when I love myself in a way that is gentle and kind, forgiving, I show up better for others out in the world, for work, for family, anywhere. And I feel like when you are able to find that for yourself, life gets a lot better, even when you're struggling, or when you're in times of fear and discouragement. Find ways to love on yourself more. And then next, I consider these two non-negotiables, but as you get older, I'm in my early 40s, find a habit, daily, weekly, it's up to you. Do something to improve your physical well-being. This doesn't mean going hard in the gym 7 days a week, unless that's your calling. Do it to it. I do not have a gym membership, but what I do have is a foam roller, a mat, weights. I also am mindful now of what I eat, as well as making those doctor's appointments, making those dentist appointments. I can't tell you how many times I've been to the dentist because I avoided it for so long. But the amount of clarity, I have less stress because now I know what's wrong with me and I can fix it. Versus before, I was just kind of skating on thin ice, like, oh, I hope nothing's wrong with my teeth. I'm not going to talk about the debt part, but it's focusing on the good versus the bad. Like, the debt's going to figure itself out. That's why I'm putting in this work. That's why I'm showing up every day. The debt has to get paid, but how I feel and my attitude towards these things, isn't always so negative because I am mindful of how I feed my brain, how I feed my body. And as scary as the doctors can be and hearing things we don't want to hear, there's something about the truth really does set you free in those moments that you're like, okay, well, this is what it is. I can either fix it or not and move on from there instead of living in this constant state of the unknowns. Okay. Then next, I would definitely consider decluttering your space, whether it's your workspace or a room, your home, but start somewhere, start small. Maybe it's putting some color in your office or rearranging where your desk sits, upgrading your technology, decluttering your inbox. But start decluttering something, and then up here we'll start to declutter with it. I just helped my mom declutter her whole office and make it more functional. I love doing that stuff. I love making spaces more functional. Hey, maybe that's my second calling in my career. I don't know. But for me, when I feel out of control, when I feel like I just need a quick win or I need to change things around, I'll move my office space. I'll rearrange my books on my shelf. I will throw papers out that I've just been stacking on my desk for weeks and months and days. And part of that, maybe it's a quick dopamine hit. I don't know what it is, but something about it helps me. And I can always tell when I'm the most stressed is when I move my office space around multiple times, just for the sake of moving it. So that's when I am able to, because I know myself, I'm like, okay, it's not the office space now. Now it's something deeper. So let me go within. Because we could change our outside perspective, what we wear, what we sit in, where we work, all those things over and over again. But it won't ever get to the root of what's really happening. Okay? So I know that went from just decluttering a desk to now decluttering your whole life, but it truly is we're always a work in progress, and that's a part of the work, okay? And stop waiting. Let's stop waiting for the perfect day, the perfect moment, the perfect job when we could be doing things now. I always go to this example of I want to be on TV. When I hear people say I want to be on TV, they always seem to be waiting for the big moment to be on major TV networks like NBC, ABC. We want to be on TV there. But why don't you start a YouTube channel in the meantime, or create a show for TikTok, Instagram? And some people might say, well, that's not the same, but it's a start. And you can refine and improve your craft as you show up for each video, whether people watch or not. And then you build confidence in self. Now you have a body of work. Maybe the vision you originally had of being on TV has now been changed and you found a passion and a love for this. Or maybe you found a passion and love for being behind the camera. And maybe that dream that was planted in your brain of being on TV was real. And now you're a camera person or a producer for NBC, ABC. And now your work is on TV. Maybe you're not on TV, but your work is on TV. We have to let our dreams breathe. We have to let our dreams exist. We have to give our dreams life. If we just let it sit dormant on a bookshelf, like all these books that I haven't read yet, I won't get the experience that I'm supposed to get from said activity or from said action. We have to start somewhere, even if it doesn't seem to look perfect in our brain. We can't control outcomes. So if I could just let go of the outcome and just do the work, I find myself to be in a much better headspace. I'm more encouraged. I'm more confident. I'm more eager to take risks and be less afraid of the unknown. So let's eliminate perfection and just start. And remember, these changes don't have to be so drastic. We don't always have to go from 0 to 100. I used to have this mindset of 0 or 100. Not even like a gradual, let me get to 100. No, it was either 0 progress or 100%. Perfection was not my best friend, okay? Now you may get a grand slam here or there, but it's like playing the lottery or going to go to Vegas and gamble. It's not this consistent flow of wins. At some point, you're going to fall. You're going to trip up. You're going to skip a leg day. Now, if you're watching this, I did air quotes. But what I'm getting at is not every day is going to be perfect. But if you can provide some small wins for yourself on a daily basis and have something to celebrate, I guarantee your life is going to turn around. Next thing you know, you look up and it's like, wow, I've come so far off of these small little incremental changes that I was avoiding. Because who said we have to wait for a raise or that title, that job title, in order to feel validated, in order to feel like I'm a winner? Detach yourself from those things. Detach your self-worth and your value from a dollar sign, a bank account amount. I'll tell you this much. Doing the work on myself has been one of the best choices I've ever made for myself. It has stretched me. It has forced me out of my comfort zone. It has made me cry. It has made me hide and want to disappear. It has made me want to start over. It has made me want to continue. There's so many things that have happened because I've chosen to work on myself. But when it was all said and done in those seasons of my life, it wasn't ever due to the fact that I had this amount of money in my bank account, whether it was a lot or zero or negative. It wasn't ever about me being my own boss. Yes, the flexibility and the freedom that comes with that, but it was always about how I felt about myself and how I treated other people, which was all a ripple effect of the small changes and the incremental choices that I made in order to improve my mindset, improve my physical well-being, improve my space and my areas around me, my home. That gave me the drive to show up, to continue, to keep going. And many of us are gifted with so many talents that we've just let be dormant, when that could be your ticket to freedom. I mentioned it in the last episode. I said if I could sing, I would sing my way through this whole podcast. But I can't sing. I don't have that talent or that skill yet, because I can hire a singing coach. I can hire a teacher. I could take lessons. I could use auto-tune. Anyone can be anything they want. But it's up to me and you to put in the work, the time, the effort, the sacrifice, the discipline, the focus, knowing when to speed up and slow down, being okay with making mistakes, celebrating those wins, being grateful on a daily basis, taking care of mind and body. That's my monthly check-in. Thank you for listening. Please visit thekeyswork.com so you could stream past episodes, as well as schedule a coaching session with me. I would love to work with you one-on-one this year so we can stay more than accountable, so we could get things knocked off that to-do list, so we can become and embody the person that we know we're capable of being. There's more out there for all of us, but it starts with knowing that you are enough, that you have enough, that you're doing enough. So thank you again for listening. I truly, truly appreciate you. Stay tuned for more episodes, interviews, conversations like this to stretch us, to keep us accountable, to laugh, to cry, all of the things. I'm pumped. It's a new year. It's a new us. We're going to get these things done. This year is going to be big for all of us. I'm calling it right now. Quote this, okay? But I want us to win. I want us to win so bad. And I trust that we will. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned for more episodes. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, thekeyswork@gmail.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It's where I give you more gems, more insight on what's going on with the show, as well as coaching opportunities, trainings, etc., etc., etc. Please make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. Yes, you can now watch The Keys and listen anywhere where podcasts are streaming. But if you are a visual learner, consumer, definitely visit thekeyswork.com and subscribe to us on YouTube. And until the next episode, my name is Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lilly. And this is The Keys podcast. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Take care and talk soon.